Yep, another episode of Delite Side of Life. I'm here with my friend, my homie from a long time ago, Fortune. How are you?
I'm well, Delite, and what about yourself?
I'm fine. You sound so low. Speak up, nyana, man.
You are microphone shy.
Oh, your microphone shy.
Yeah,
How
man.
are man, Fortune? How you been? What's going on?
Um, I've been well.
You been well?
Yeah.
What is it that you do, my G?
I'm a digital creative and a multidisciplinarian.
I didn't bring my dictionary. Let's start with the first one. Digital creative,
Yeah, that
which is
means I make something out of nothing using a computer.
like what? Like you make what?
Oh, man.
Pictures. Me, I do basic things on my computer. So you do what I do. So I'm those things also. I'm a visual what? A
You
digital.
know, as long as you create, bruh, as
Ah,
long as you create.
kilo now the influencer. Hey, I'm an influencer. Hey. Can't you
No,
just
man.
post the pictures I'm posting? Kilo, nana, with the creative terms.
No, man.
Even a gardener, a landscape.
Landscaper, yeah. You must always, put in that
Ah,
polish. Ah, man. I
uh,
actually program software.
you program software.
Yeah. And make music of programs like Fruity Loops and Ableton. And
Mm.
basically, as long as it's, whatever you could think of creating at a computer, and then I'm on it.
What got
So
you
what
into?
it
Yeah.
where need it be graphics, need it be audio, but then I've been heavily focusing on software development.
Okay, what got you into this? Are you a video game type of boy? What?
What I could say is, I think sci-fi played a big role in terms of my interest in computers because from what I picked up is that
Mm.
everything is gonna have a computer. It might not have been in the same manner as it's been executed on someone's imagery in the movie, but
Mm.
everything kind of basically had a computer. It needed to be a PC. I mean, needed to be a what you call this thing, a car. Needed to be a watch. Needed to be, but it seemed that everything kind of had a computer. So if we were headed to a point where everything is gonna be controlled or interfaced with a computer, I just figured I want to be the guy who makes the computer.
Give me everything. I can never basically be unemployed
Yeah,
or
I
what?
think at that time it wasn't me looking at unemployment. It was just me looking at what I would basically be able to create because I think since it interfaced with everything,
Mm.
it will somewhat be a part of everything. Does that make sense?
Okay, so but why? But why be interested in everything?
Yeah, then because I don't know, man. Like it's
Mm.
I want to do a lot of things. I think even my thing is not that I
Mm.
don't know what I want to do. It's
Yeah.
just that I'd like to do a lot of things, and it's a matter of prioritizing. So
Mm.
IT seemed like the route that intersects with everything. For example, I might not, I would like to be a pilot one day, just to be able to fly like
Mm.
planes and stuff. But for now, I can build programs that assist pilots or automate a driverless plane. I
You're
can
able
do
to
that.
do that.
And I'm saying the capability of, if you're interested enough in doing that, you can attempt it at the comfort of your own home.
Okay.
You get what I'm
Okay.
saying? Versus now, what the hurdles that you need to face if you were to attempt to become a pilot.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So the hurdles that you need to face here, I think, are minuscule in comparison.
All right. Let's make this interesting. Now I want to know how to find out who's looking at my Instagram, who's stalking me. Can you find that out for me? Kiss the ass. You know,
Uh,
can you see her? Hey, dog, this girl, she comes here 10 times a day. But
well, you can
yeah,
track who is looking at you, but I don't think you'd find the answers in the way you'd want them. You know, the information is
Like it
there.
wouldn't be the girl I want. You're like, damn it. Shamina. I knew she's talking to me, man.
Well, you know that.
Not my type.
You know that, like, you know, broad information where it's not like personal. You can know things like,
Or
okay,
like IP. Not
yeah,
IP.
yeah,
Is
yeah.
that's
Well,
still a bit like obvious. Really.
yeah, like, okay, it depends on what level, but like from a advertising point of view, or the information they divulge to you, it's stuff like, okay, what computer does this person use?
Is it? Am I correct in using the term IP when
Yeah, IP
when-
address.
Oh yeah,
IP
okay,
address,
cool.
IP address. You're
'Cause
right.
I'm thinking intellectual property.
No, 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 no.
Okay,
You are right.
okay,
You are
okay,
right.
okay.
You are right. They give you information like what you call this thing,
Yeah.
where the person is located, are they male or female, what type of phone they use, what software they use, what browser they
Well, now I call
visited.
to give me that information.
Yeah, bra, I set up or they
I knew almost. I'm coming to you, my guy. No, we'll talk.
away.
We'll talk, man. But yeah, so I know you into fashion, or you used to be, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I don't think you ever stopped, but maybe pursuing it is what has changed. Is that a hard one? Got 100, 300 mark question.
Joe.
Real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
better, Joe. You better question.
You haven't really thought of why. Let's delve into that then. Cool. Maybe we can figure it out. Maybe you can figure it out. You used to pursue fashion, like you really liked it. I think you were still in high school, right? Yeah, you were when you started off, late high school. Yes?
Yeah, man. I think I liked high end couture more than anything. Street couture, actually, that was also
Yeah.
kind of a thing I followed heavily. Yeah, I pursued it, and
And to what extent, if you can just elaborate?
I mean,
You
I'll
took-
go as far as say I was influential in GP.
So what? You used to take pictures and put it online of other people wearing nice clothes. I mean, that's pursuing something. Like, yeah, I'm the guy who knows what's new. Or like what? You created. You what?
Well, I mean,
What was the process? What did you do to influence these people?
I went as far as designing from.
Let's put it this
scratch.
way.
Yeah.
You're speaking to your child. Hey, daddy, back in my time. Me, your daddy. You don't know when. Let me tell you, my
Yo,
child.
your
What do you
dad
tell
was
your child?
lit. Yo, your dad was lit, boy.
Yeah, so like speak
Your
that.
dad was,
Yeah, man.
the Mswengo bringer. Your dad was like innovative. Your dad used to wear the telela when no one was wearing the telela, man. Your dad used to push boundaries. Your dad wants you to be litty like him, but more so, you should do you. So if you're a calm ass person,
So,
my child,
daddy,
do
but
that.
what did you used to do? So you used to wear delelas. Did you make your own delelas?
Of course.
That's what I'm asking. People don't know you like I know you.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm talking to an old friend now, so I'm just.
So you're referencing like you're already like a dog. You already know this. Like I'm speaking as though I don't. Okay, so have you ever thought of incorporating the IT side with the music? The computer stuff. Like as you said, everything is connected to it. So is that something you thought about, or even if you haven't, like how could they connect? If what's the best way to
I mean, I
for them
think
to work or pay?
they already do, so and also things like workflow. I mean, you like even right now, this show is being recorded on a software. And everything is going to be done. You don't need to actually have a physical mixer. You're going to mix everything from your PC. You know what I'm saying?
Don't tell people my setup. Me,
So-
they think I'm in a studio. Yeah. I think it's big, high
I
end.
said you don't need. I never said you don't have.
I think I pay 10,000.
You don't need this mixer right here. You can just.
Okay, it's fine. We had to expose each other. Sure. Anyway, so cool. You said, for instance, you're giving an example of recording audio, but now let's go into the fashion now. So give an example of that. Like, how could you incorporate that, make fashion more better or more noticeable or reach a wider audience?
I think if I was to step back into fashion,
Yeah.
I probably infusing it with technology. It'll be probably
Hmm.
create these network blocking clothing where basically they
Hmm.
block radio signals from entering or escaping
Yeah, man.
your body. Therefore, kind of basically that protects you. It kind of creates a net of protection from all of the signals that are passing by through every
Are you
day.
trying to fight? Oh, those people who believe Corona comes from the towers. It's our 4G.
Zero, zero,
Since,
zero.
why are we protecting your body or the body of the what is spirits or what? Evil spirits?
Nah, man.
What would the purpose be for? Okay, I'm gonna buy this thing, this top, this T-shirt is 500 rand more than the normal one. Hey, Mara, yeah,
A
protect.
protector.
For what?
A protector, like, I'm not well versed. It's just an idea that when you're talking about technology and clothing, that's somewhere I've seen another company executing something similar, so it intrigued me. I wouldn't
You
say
don't know what
I'm
the
not.
purpose was.
No, the purpose was to protect from like radioactive frequencies. In terms
Yeah,
of there is harmful frequencies that are emitted
yeah,
on a constant, on a regular,
yeah,
even
yeah.
from things like your phone,
Microwave.
your
Yeah,
what you call this thing, your router, and
yeah.
basically most of these network emitting things that we kind of use on a day to day, they do emit some harmful.
Which do have to do a bit with the 4G towers, why people should
Yeah.
be concerned, maybe, but not because it causes Corona.
No, hey, Jordan, now you're trying to paint me like that guy.
No, not that you did. I'm just going back to no, it's not totally off from where you are. Like
True,
with my
true,
assumption
true.
wasn't totally off. My bad. I never know if you those people or not. I'm not saying you guys are wrong. Now I'm saying you guys. Anyway, no, that's interesting, my guy. Yeah. So what else do you do, man?
Yo. Don't talk about me, bruv. I don't know. Like I'm like so.
They know all about me. So
Yeah, I know, but like
so what else do you do, man?
I have no idea. Like in terms of how
What's your
do
focus? What's a day for you? What's the plans for you, like on a regular?
a day for me is literally I wake up. Uh,
Leave the brushing of teeth out and wash your face. I just mean like plan wise, like objectives.
I mainly code. Take
Coding.
breaks in between and go back at it, because it's kind of like I think it's a skill that you either use it or you either use it or lose it.
Oh, so you have to keep practicing at it.
Yeah, constantly.
I guess it's like any skill. Like most skills are that way. That makes sense. You know, if you play an instrument, you should always practice it. Otherwise, your fingers would, yeah, you just lose the muscle memory in some way. It's not
Yeah, apart
as
from the
easy
skill, your
anymore.
fingers also need to work out, man. Like yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
don't. They're not as fit anymore. They can't hit those notes the
yeah.
way they used to.
And there's sequencing. So, for instance, it's not like a bike. A bike, your leg just goes this way and that way. It's like walking, right? So you don't have to remember, no, then left, then after right,
Oh
then
yeah, yeah,
down,
yeah,
then
yeah.
up. So playing an instrument means, chords. This finger goes here. Sometimes it goes there. Sometimes this chord follows this chord. Like there's different ways of playing this and playing that. So it's not just one thing constantly. And I think anything that works like that needs you to keep reminding yourself of these different patterns. So like what you call it, coding, there's patterns, there's certain way in which you, I guess, establish certain things on certain sites, I guess.
I
Or what?
guess.
Or would you like to explain coding more, if you don't mind? Or yeah, can you explain coding, for instance? Again, let's say I'm a child. I'm like, yo, daddy, what is coding? What would you say?
Well, I think I'd start with programming. Programming is just you telling a computer what to do
Okay.
in its basic form. Well, it's literally just that. And I guess with a program is that we told the computer what to do, or we told it what to do in terms of a sequence of steps, and we stored that for later use. So if you wanted to do 1, 2, 3, count up to 1, 2, 3, you kind of pre-save that, instead of retelling it every time.
Oh, okay.
Or to add numbers up, or to do anything of that sort, basically.
Okay, cool. And so when you come into this coding thing, is it like anything else where the basics, like the 1, 2, 3s, are already set up by someone who did it previously? You here just to advance it and add in new codings for, you know what I'm trying to say? Or
no one is.
Or do you sometimes try and go back and fix the basics where you think, they could have done this better?
Yeah, no one is really trying to reinvent the wheel. And hence why we have like a movement of open source. So if someone already kind of did it and solved or found a problem to the solution, then you can just use their solution and basically work on solving the bigger problem or finding new ways of using it. But at the same time, also, no one is stopping you from reinventing the wheel. So if you think you have a bigger, better wheel, go ahead and basically restart your whole evolution where everything is based on this new type of wheel.
So do you ever apply this mindset, this coding mindset of telling something what to do, or wish you could apply it in real life, or, relationships or anything, where you just like arguing with your mom, like, when I wish you were a computer, man, damn it. And just program you now. Or what?
Hey,
Does it ever apply?
I don't think I ever think of it. Partly because the computer
because remember,
it takes things
why
so
I'm
literally.
saying this?
Why? It takes
What
things
did
so
you say
literally.
in the beginning?
What did I say?
It's everything. So let's go. Let's apply this theory. Why haven't you thought like that? Let's think like that now.
I'm saying it takes things too literally, and sometimes you haven't, like, for example, if there's this joke that I see, if you follow, man, now you're putting pressure that it should be. It's funny to like within the coding community. Then there's basically two guys, and it's like asking about, how was last night? It's like, my wife was tripping, and it's like, why? And it's like, okay, she sent me to the shop and she said, get 30 eggs. And if there's avocados, get 30 of that. Get 30 more.
Okay.
So now the dude comes back with 60 eggs, and then the Han was expecting 30 eggs and 30 avocados, but it was because she said 30 more, and it computed that, because he's programming all day. He didn't understand it from what was implied. Like, so he kind of took it too logically. Therefore, he only came back with like 60 eggs instead of coming back with 30 avocados and 30 of this thing. So the human aspect of it, you kind of assume. But if you're logical, that's what the lady said, and that's what she asked for. But now she got what she asked for, but she's not happy with it. So that's why I wouldn't really want, or never really think of humans and computers, because they take things so logical. You might intend on meaning something, but you might tell it to do something completely opposite.
I think this is a nice thing, because this touches on the miscommunication between men and women a lot of the time. And unfortunately, men, we tend to use the term logical, that we are more logical than women. I say unfortunate because that means that women are not logical, and that's not correct. But so there's sometimes there is that, where, let's put it for instance, a man is very literal, so it's like, if I say I'm fine, I'm fine. If I'm saying I'm not fine, it's not because of you, right? Maybe I'm not fine, but I'm telling you I am fine, so you don't worry about me, right? So that's why I'm going to tell you, hey, now, fortunately, I'm fine. I'm not going to tell you, actually, I'm stressing about the rent, right? But still, to you, I'm fine. You and I, Rashad. But with a woman, though, it would be like, you asking her, are you fine? She'll say, yes, she's fine. And then not only is she not fine, but she's not fine with you who's asking. And it's like, on top of that, you should know that
You
she's not
should,
fine.
yeah, and
It's
then
like, yeah, man, nah.
you should know the reason why she's not fine as well.
And she thinks, vele, vele, why are you asking me if I'm fine? Oh, are you knew I'm not fine? It's like, yeah, man, it didn't sound. No, I mean, so I find it interesting because now I can apply not exactly the same thing, but it's very similar. Of, this is very literal, this thing, this computer thing, compared to people who is like, we're gonna work off assumption. I would assume that you knew that I meant this. That's how a lot of the time women are like that. And when you observe them, right?
Yeah.
We might be wrong in interpreting them. So maybe they're not like that. I don't know. But it looks like that from
but
my
how
view.
It's interpreted, yes.
Vele, vele, you always assume, like you always expect me to assume to know, or this is what you meant when you said this. Whereas I'm very literal, like, when I say this, I mean this.
What's more important now? Like, is it what has been said or how it's been received?
Yeah, that's the problem now, because it's gonna go to a quote that I'm very familiar with. One I always use of Dr. Phil, where he's like, perception is
Dr.
reality.
Phil.
Hey man, why what's wrong? He's a doctor. It's good enough. So perception is reality. So it's like you said, what's more important, interpretation or what's said, right?
Yeah.
Perception is reality, meaning. So it really depends now, because we could both be watching one show, both be listening to one song, but we could all interpret it differently and how we relate to it and how it affects us. And whatever messaging, that I get from it, as long as I'm happy with it, then that's all that matters actually. But now what you're saying is, now I'm interacting with another human being, and it's important that we understand each other, especially in a relationship. You know what I mean? It is important that I understand what you're saying, so that we can keep moving forward and whatever. But so it really depends on, it depends on the person who's saying what they're saying actually. If I really think about it in that context, because that's the concern at hand. You are not the concern, the person interpreting it. When the issue comes up, the issue itself is not about you, right? How to solve the issue might be about you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what my issue is, like, if she is, it's like, again, I'm going to go to... No, it's like, even if the person is wrong about what they feel or whatever, you need to acknowledge that they feel a certain way.
Yeah.
Not how you interpret it. It's like, again, I'm going to go to Dr. Phil. So he was even saying there was a time where there was like a mother and a child or something, and the child was definitely wrong. But he was like, the problem here is not whether or not the child is wrong or not, but the child does feel a certain way. You make this child feel a certain way, right? And it's not about whether or not they interpreted the situation correctly. Like, like maybe you say something to someone and they assume you're saying something, and then they feel a certain way. You should be you should be more concerned about how they feel than what you actually said sometimes. You know what I mean? And navigate around that. And make them understand your language, or your love language or whatever. And then that's how you solve the problem. You know what I'm saying?
Makes total sense.
That's so that's why you need to pay attention to the one who's saying the message also. Like it's like, even if it might be wrong, or might not be correct, or might not be logical, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, first try and understand what they're saying and then work around that.
Hey, you should do my
instead
PR,
of dismissing it.
Should totally do my PR.
So I don't know if that answers your question, but it's always about the root of an issue. That's where it comes from, not how it was interpreted.
Okay.
Why does Johnny think that this word means is insulting, when this word to us is cool? Dog, we always say nigga, dog. Come on, dog, nigga, whatever. But why is Johnny acting up? Johnny's also black, dog. Go and listen to Johnny, though.
It hurts Johnny.
Johnny doesn't know where you're coming from. All he hears when you say nigga is that white next door neighbor. And we are not wrong.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
maybe Johnny's wrong because he erupted and he just like saw it as for saying this.
Yeah.
But when you go down to the root cause, he's also not wrong in his mind. And even to us, we're also going to realize, but he's not wrong, Shem. He just, you know what I mean? We need to meet him halfway. He should meet us halfway. He should also say, why are you guys always using this word, dog? And then we should be like, why are you so bothered by this word? And then that's how we meet up. Problem is, I think with most interactions, is only one person's trying to solve the issue.
Yeah, true. So what I'm hearing is no one is more important than the other. Is we should strive for a balance.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. I like what you say. 100%. No one is more important than the other. But when it comes to an issue at hand and you are interacting with me and my issue, I am important in that issue. Not you and your feelings and where you come from and what you think is right. I'm telling you my story. You know what I'm saying? So, this is what happened with me and my mom. Maybe I must respect my mom. Maybe I was disrespectful, Inging. But this is how it made me feel, and I'm telling you. And it's up to you to say, Ish, dog, I can't interact with you when you speak about your mom like that. Then it's fine. But if you're coming into my story and my situation, I'm important right now, not you and your morals and how you speak to your mom. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yo.
Those things need to sometimes be established. That's why they say there's this other thing I read about. A tweet, I think. This guy said that him and his wife established after a few years that when we come to each other with issues, that this happened or this happened, we first decide or we first ask each other, is this for me to just listen to or do you want my input? Because sometimes someone just comes to you with information to complain about whatever. And sometimes they want an ally. And even if you're not an ally, just keep quiet and listen. But don't object or whatever, because I'm here because you're the only person I can turn to, even if I'm wrong. So, sometimes it's that approach. And that made perfect sense to me because I've never been that type of person. I think like most of us are not,
You've never been the type of
the
person
type of person to first ask, like, yo, must I listen to this or must I always assume that I must solve an issue. It's like,
you're logical.
yeah.
It's coming to me, he's crying. That means he wants his problem solved.
Well, because it's like my mom, there was another time, 100%. My mom, this other time, she was like complaining about something. So I'm like, yo, it's like the third time you bring this thing up. And I gave you the solution the first time. Since then, you haven't implemented it. Baban, you didn't even try. I'm not saying it works, but try it. Baban. You can't come back to me and not try my solution. Then she's like, you know what, Tabo? Sometimes people, I just want to complain about something. Sometimes it's just nice to complain. Then I was like, it didn't make sense in the moment. But then after I'm like, oh. Vela, I am the problem there.
Yeah.
Though though if we check what the issue is of why she keeps having a problem, it is my mother. But in that moment, I was
You just
wrong,
needed to shut up. You just needed to listen and agree.
So, man, thanks a lot, man. We went through coding and then fashion to come back and solve relationships. I appreciate having you here, man.
Thank you, bro.
We'll talk about that PR gig you offered me. It was offered publicly, so I'm gonna hold you to that. Yeah, I have witnesses. Thanks a lot, my G. Any parting words?
Stay blessed.
Hey, and the ones who are not blessed, they must obtain it.
Joe.
You must say stay blessed. And then the one who's not,
Joe, they're there. They've just been hiding. They
just don't know they're blessed.
Acknowledge it first.
Yeah, we all blessed in some way.
Exactly.
I appreciate it, my guy. Thank you so much, man. Say bye to the listeners.
Bye, listeners.
Okay, sure. That was another episode of Delite Side of Life. Peace.